Okay, good, 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 good. We're going to start soon. A couple of minutes. Okay, good. Even you got in. Very good. My mistake. My apologies. Even. Okay, getting ready. All right, everybody can hear me. We'll start in a minute. So now these are interesting trades. This next trade, it's not a family money trade, but it used to be what we used to call our prime trades. It had a time when it was a really great performing trade. And then the world crisis hit, and this became one of the reports that just stopped working. But it's looking better lately. We'll talk about it in a second. I'm just waiting for everybody to get here. We have so many new people. Don't be shy about asking questions. Don't be shy. Didn't Elvis do a song called Don't Be Shy? He did Don't Be Cruel. Was Don't Be Shy part of the lyrics in that song? I don't know. I was not much of an Elvis fan. Didn't like him at all. Not a bit. Most people don't even know who Elvis is anymore. That's pretty incredible. Who is Elvis? Most people, a lot of people don't even know who Paul McCartney is. Right? To see those crowds at Lollapalooza, holy crow. Pretty big crowd. I didn't realize they did Lollapalooza in Chicago, of all places. Why Chicago? I mean, Chicago's a beautiful city, actually. If you ever been there, the lake is amazing. Okay, let's go in the room. Welcome everybody to ISM Services, which used to be called ISM Non-Manufacturing. Some calendars still call it that. This is the 10-Minute Trades Trade Room. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading, so be careful. So there is a 945 trade that's a little bit interesting. Let's see what it did last month. It's final services or services PMI, they're calling it now. Services PMI. Services PMI. Haven't been tracking it all that close because it hasn't been behaving all that great. This is one of those reports that we've never traded it officially, and I did not do a proper video of it last month, unfortunately. I don't think I can tell what's going to happen. As you can see, I was recording the wrong screen. So I can barely, okay, there's the trade. It's a little bit hard to see. And it fills, I think it fills short and it goes long and loses money. That you can see the red. It fills short and goes long. So it didn't work last month. Now I'm telling you, this is a trade that's not official. There's no DMM, but it's a report that I've been watching off and on for years. Here's April. It has had times where it's behaved pretty well. And it almost always, 99% of the time, trades before ISM non-manufacturing, now called ISM services. And you could see how I was trying a trap trade. So if I'm trying a trap trade, it means the previous way that we've been trying this report as a breakout has not been working. So there's nothing wrong with the trap trade. It's an awesome setup, but it's a harbinger of a trade that is not working. It's giving you a heads up that we have a trade that as a breakout, it hadn't been working. So you could see the breakout is not very dramatic, and the trap trade gives you a little bit of a profit opportunity, possibility. But I would not trade the trap trade, honestly, on this report. It was just something I was trying back in April. Let's see what it did in May. And this is the 945 report. Again, I was trying the trap trade, it looks like. No, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. I was testing there, let's see. So this was May. So I remember May, there was such a fast move that it canceled the trade. It was a big breakout, and that's what you want to see. And it was negative news is what helped to create that, okay? It helped to create that move. So what we know, all I can tell you is what I know about this 945 report is it's very inconsistent. I would not trade it live under any circumstances today, under any circumstances. It's not a trade to trade live. Strictly a test. I almost am tempted to ignore it and just talk about ISM services. It's much more important of a report, but I can do a setup on ISM services within 15 minutes. So let's look at the DMM for ISM services. We'll get ready for it. That's the 10 o'clock trade. It's the more impactful trade, but if you read the DMM is our daily trade report. Due to poor performance and unstable reactions through 2020, we put this report on the bench after December. That means we stopped trading it in December, okay? And you could see, report benched for 6 months. Then in May, it started working again as a breakout, okay? Started working again as a breakout. That's the 10 o'clock report, all right? So I'll have a setup for that. It's not a family money trade, obviously, right? A trade that was put on the bench for 6 months, and it's only 3 months since then. It is not a family money trade. I think everybody understands that concept very well, right? I don't have to tell you why. It was retired for 6 months because it was trading so poorly. It literally became untradeable, totally inconsistent in its results. But I noticed it started to break out again. So it's my job to let my boss know, he's the guy that generates the DMMs, that it was breaking out again. So he agreed, and now we have the DMM back. That's how it works around here. I'm like I'm the foot soldier, and he's the quote unquote general, right? I'm the foot soldier. I'm the one that gets killed when the markets go haywire. I'm the one that all my blood is flowing in the trade room, and he's up there in a glass enclosed room, looking and saying, "Oh, isn't that a shame? He got killed. What a shame." So I'm the foot soldier. That's how you have to look at it. But the foot soldiers know what's going on. That's the truth. Because we're in the trenches. We know what the market's doing. So let's put a little trade on for the 9:45 trade, and then we'll put the 10 o'clock trade on. I have two different setups that I'm going to use. And again, it's not family money. So if you trade, you're trading at risk. You know, you're trading much higher risk. So I'm going to record this. So this report, it's a manufacturing, it's a services report, okay? The one on that took place with ISM manufacturing is the manufacturing version. This is the services version. You know, we're a services economy. Like Apple's considered a services company because they offer so many services. They do hardware manufacturing and services. They do it all. So I'm entering the JOBBV9. It's a bracket. I use a bracket of 6 on my testing on this report. One target for 5 ticks, one target for 12 ticks. Stop of 10 is fine. And then the entry, these days, what we're seeing is 1 second before the reports have been working. So I'm okay with 9. I've done 9:45 on this report. I certainly don't want to get filled early. So 9:44.59. Let me just check one thing really quick if I made any particular. Yeah, you know what? I checked my notes in the journal. And I really didn't, we really haven't been watching this report that closely because we've been spending more time on ISM services. But we're definitely seeing the markets trading pretty well with news. So we'll go at 9:44.59, label the trade GC services PMI is what they're calling it. Stop is 10. One target for 5 ticks, one for 12, stop at 10. It's not that far off from ISM services. But again, this is a test. I'm looking at micro gold on the right because I'm going to use micro gold so that I can trade 2 instruments on ISM services, okay, at 10 o'clock. So again, this is a report. We've never traded it officially. We have traded it very occasionally in the room, very occasionally. Since the world crisis, it's been tremendously inconsistent. Last month, it was a stop. We've tested the trap trade on it. I don't think there's, I'm not going to say. I mean, this is a report that, maybe it hasn't gotten enough, testing time, but it's an unofficial report. So why is a report unofficial versus official? How does a report become an official report? A report becomes official when we release a daily market mover. Once you get a daily market mover, then it's official because there's an official setup, there's steady, consistent testing, there's steady, consistent results being put on the chart, on the report. Sometimes we have reports like this that are inconsistent. They're not worthy of a report, a daily market mover. Checking my sync, as usual, by going to the website time.is. And once again, my sync almost always works. And that's just luck. Total luck of the draw. I've had computers previously that I had to use other tools to get in sync, like Dimension 4 or Atomic Clock, any of those extra tools. All right, so we got about a minute and a half, and the data is the services PMI, and they're looking at it to be lower than last month. It was in the 60s. This month, they're looking in the high 59s. And all news reports respond one way or the other. The key is, in all news reports, the key is, what is the offset? Once again, defining the offset means here's the number that's expected, 59.7, and then let's say it's 60. So the offset is only 0.3. That's considered a small offset. If the offset was 62, that would be a good sized offset. And you learn if an offset is big, medium, or small by watching reports often, right? If you watch every month, you'll know what's considered a good offset or a big offset, like on natural gas or oil. You get a real definite decision as to what is a significant offset. If it's not a good offset, we call it matching. Matching often leads to a dull or a lifeless report. There's our bracket. 59.9, which is almost matching news. 59.9, not a great number. First target's very small though. But when you have 59.9, so that's considered not a very big offset, okay? See, there's our numbers. That's considered matching news. And you can see, look how the price action, it stinks. It's terrible. That's usually, that's what matching news can do to a report. If I was live on real money, I'd probably get out of the trade. I don't really want to be in the trade when it's matching news and for 40 seconds, the price isn't even moving, right? Nothing's going on. Now, I would try to wait and see if I could get out with a profit. I can press the combine button and combine my two orders because I don't expect my furthest order to get hit. Watch what the combined button does. It's going to move the top order and make it with the small order. It combines the orders closest to the price. Watch, combine, bingo. Now I've got a much easier to manage exit on a dull trade. So I could shrink, and there it goes. I get out with a small profit, and that's why that report is very mediocre. Today, you almost can't even count the test because the news was matching. Matching is not a fair test, okay? You have to wait for next month to do another test because matching news does not tell you anything. It just tells you that the news was matching, and you're probably not going to get a very big response. So now let's set up our regular bracket trade. Regular bracket trade. Let me just clean the account. Let me remove my trade and start over. And we're going to stay for oil also. So we're going to be watching ISM manufacturing. So our regular bracket trade, because that's starting to work, we're going to follow the DMM. And again, it's starting to work. I'm not saying I would trade this. I'm not trading it live. I don't have the faith yet in this report. It's been so bad for a whole year. A whole year, we didn't trade it for 6 months. So our targets are 7 and 15. If I were trading it live, I would use smaller first target. I would use 5. Okay? I would use 5. The stop is 10. All right? Stop is 10. And then the entry time is 9:59:59. All right? 9:59:59. Very clear, very simple. Breakout trade. Going to label the trade because I have another trade I'm setting up. I'm calling it Breakout GC ISM Services. All right? And not trading live. Just remember. Now, there's people out there that are nuts and they're going to trade live anyway. I can't stop them. I'm setting up a trap trade with micro gold. Okay? I can't trade both gold on the same setup. You just can't. It'll ruin the trade. So I'm going to trade the trap trade. Let me trade version 2 because that's what everybody has. We have a new version. I'm going to be putting it up soon. So trap trade version 2, price at the time stays the same. Position size 1 stays at 1. Wait for spike is a default. Position size 2, make that a 1. Just trading 2 positions. Average price bar stays the same. Stop loss position gets changed. That gets changed from average price to last fill price. You don't ever want averaging on a stop. You don't want to average. I don't, anyway. And then our stop is 15. And my tiers, my brackets, so to speak, but they're different. I'm using 10 and 16. Entry time stays at 10 o'clock. Order prep. Our orders will show up on the chart 10 seconds before the news comes out. Go back and readjust your stop. Make sure it's set to 15. So to go over the setup, contraction, ignore. That's being removed. We don't use it. Bracket center stays the same. Give me a second. Let me get rid of the previous video and put a new video on. So we had services PMI, very mediocre trade. Could have gotten out without a loss, though. So that's always a plus. And now we have a new recording for ISM manufacturing. Now we have two setups. I've got two setups. We've got the breakout just per the DMM on the left side. Okay. And now I'm setting up a trap trade on the right. So I've got bracket center is price at the time. Position size 1 is a 1. Wait for spike stays at 5. Position size 2, change it to a 1. We're just trading two contracts. Average price bars is a default that stays the same. Excuse me. Stop loss position, it's going to be average. Change it to last fill. Losing my voice all month. Stop loss is 15, and then tier 1 is 10. Tier 2 is 16. Entry time is 10 o'clock. Order prep is 10 seconds. What order prep does, you really should go to the website. There's 3 videos that show you all about the trap trade. You got to watch those videos. Okay, so I accidentally did the trade twice, so let me get rid of one of them. So let's double check it. Average price at the time, one target, stop is 15. Always double check your stop with the trap trade. Sometimes it changes. There's a complicated reason why it does that. Trust me, it's supposed to. It has to do with making sure that the orders don't get placed on the chart in between stops. Our order preparation is 10 seconds. Put the stop back on 15. Always check it. And then everything else stays the same. Stop loss position, make sure it's not on an average, but it's on last fill price. Stop is 15. One position, position size 1 is 1, position size 2 is 1. Tiers are 10 and 16. Entry time 10 o'clock. Order prep 10 seconds. Trap trade is up top. Okay. I know because it's MGC. It's going to be a little bit tight because my chart's pretty small. All right. I could move my news to another chart, but to another monitor. But I don't. I want to see if investing.com ever works again. It's been absolutely terrible in not coming up with the news on time. So we've got our normal breakout on the left. Okay, that's the one we're most interested. A tier is basically an order. It's an order. You'll see the tiers are the orders. It's the same as calling it, if the tier creates the brackets. The tier creates the brackets. I don't, my boss invented this trade. Tiers really should have been called orders. But we've been doing it this way for so many years that I'm sure even if I wanted to change it, he would object to that. So I'm not going to, it's not worth the battle to try and change it. It's best just tiers are orders that'll show up on the chart and they create the brackets. Once you see one trade, you'll understand completely. It's really not complicated at all. Let's check our time sync, which I like to do for every trade. Time.is, that's where we go. Now there's going to be also very good education in the oil room. So stick around, because last week, remember there was a bug in Ninja in their template for the micro future for gold, for oil. But we fixed that. And now I can teach what I wanted to teach last week, how to use the squeeze play. So I think it's going to be worth sticking around for. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, how about giving us a like for all the free info we use? Give us a like if you like it. The trap trade icon is pretty cool, isn't it? You have like a bear trap with money in it. Pretty cool. The JOBB icon is a little bit simpler. So we're 2 for 2 this week on our money trades. And then we've got 2 more this week. Friday, there's 2 at the same time. So Friday is going to be a little bit of a challenge. You got Canada and US jobs. I believe they're both money trades. So we got about 2.5 minutes. ISM services last month. I think last month it only hit target 1. This was last month. ISM services, we did the regular breakout and it struggles to hit. It hits target 1 and then it just struggles. It doesn't really get very far. Doesn't get far. We traded it live and only made $10. Now that, it took a little bit of guts to trade it because it qualifies. It's not even as good as a coin toss. Cliff, there's no DMM because Canada, very honestly, Cliff, because it's my trade, my boss does not necessarily, it's not that he doesn't agree, it's that he has not created a DMM for Canada in more than a year. I guess we don't agree on it, to be honest. We don't agree on that particular trade. I've been trading it for the last 6 months. We've been making money on it. So that's really, no trader, no 2 traders will agree on everything. It just is the way it is. And so I call it a trade room trade, Cliff. I mean, the real money trade is the jobs report, the US jobs report. But to me, it's a bonus. It's a bonus if you're a trade room member because it's an extra trade. There's times where it trades by itself. It doesn't always trade with the US jobs report. And it does really well when it trades by itself also. And it does very well when it trades with the jobs report. So to me, I don't care if it has a DMM or not. I have a setup for it that's working. So if you come in the trade room, that's a bonus trade. You could trade just that trade. It's low risk also because it's only $5 a tick. It's been working. So here's our trap trade. Okay, 10 seconds before. We'll see if it works. I'm just going to leave it alone. Here's our breakout. It hits the first target and reverses into a loss. Okay, very good news. And gold goes in an opposite direction. Now you've got a really good trap trade taking place, or you did for a minute. Now you want to be watching a trap trade because it requires management. Okay, now if it keeps going up, I'm going to shrink my stop. There's no way I want to take a full loss on it. The gold should go down. The trap should not work. Okay, it should not work. I would combine my orders. The reason it should not work is because the news is so positive. It's 67. It's very, very good news. Very good news. So it's going to be a real struggle to get out of this report positive. But you had that one opportunity because we were trading both at the same time. Now our stop was a tiny bit bigger. It's also micros. If you're actually really trading micros, you're not risking all that much money if you get stopped, $50, right? I would have expected not to have that trade work. But, so why is the ISM such a problematic trade? We got to look at the video. But the ISM manufacturing, it's a problematic trade based on its behavior. Let's take a quick look at the video. I'm wondering about, I'm not sure yet. Let's look. Hang on. Let's see what it did. So the trap trade would have been a stop, but you had an opportunity. If you look at gold, if you were really fast, you could have gotten out, but you probably wouldn't have. In all honesty, you probably wouldn't have. So I would probably call the trap trade a loss. And that's why you test also, you know, when a report's not working for 6 months, I'm not dying to trade it. I don't have a motivation to trade a report that hasn't worked in 6 months with real money so that you can lose your money. We don't need to trade it. Here's the report. Let's watch the video and see what happens.